Yo, Animatormon here to talk to you about Doctor Who once again. Spoiler warning. Throughout the RTD era of Doctor Who, we got some really good stories and characters, but after some time it became obvious that certain elements were used over and over again, to the point where they became cliches. I have decided to come up with a list of the top 5 worst RTD era cliches. Now don't get me wrong, I very much enjoyed this era of Doctor Who, but let's just say, these are 5 things I'm really not gonna miss. Number 5. The terrible special effects. Now, I know that Doctor Who is a TV show with an extremely limited budget, which therefore limits their CGI. That isn't what I mean. What I'm talking about is the very poor decisions taken in terms of how the CGI is shown. For example, in The End of Time, there is a sequence where every human on the planet turns into the Master. This sequence is a mixture of a terrible and reused effect that takes forever. It takes way longer than necessary, to the point where it just gets annoying. A similar effect is used in The Last of the Time Lords, where the Doctor is aged. Yet again, the effect goes on so long that you end up yelling at the TV for them to just get on with it already. Number 4. Constantly reusing classic Who villains for finales. Every single finale is basically the return of a classic series villain. Season 1 is the return of the Daleks. Season 2 is the return of the Cybermen. Season 3 is the return of the Master. Season 4 is the return of Davros. And The End of Time is the return of the Time Lords. After a while, it becomes repetitive. It's almost like RTD doesn't trust himself to write an original villain for his finales. He plays it safe, which sometimes works out okay, like with Parting of the Ways and Doomsday. But sometimes it really doesn't, like with Journey's End and The End of Time. Number 3. Forced drama. If there's one thing that RTD loves in his scripts, it's drama, whether it's appropriate or not. There are many instances where it is obvious that drama is being shoved into the script just to have drama. For example, in Doomsday, we have a very time-sensitive situation going on. We need to get to the Daleks as fast as possible to stop them and whatever is hidden in that capsule. Then, the entire episode slows down for a 5-minute reunion between Rose's mom and dad. The timing is terrible, and none of the characters seem very interested in the conflict that was happening a few moments ago. I don't have anything against drama. It's been used very effectively during this era, like in Midnight, for example. But a lot of the time, it just doesn't work in context with everything that's happening in the moment. Number 2. Rose can do no wrong, according to the writers. It's no secret that RTD loves the character of Rose. Rose is the only character to be portrayed as almost never doing anything wrong. That's a problem because the truth is that Rose is a terrible person. In her very first episode, she insults and ditches her boyfriend in a matter of seconds. Seriously? That's how you want to introduce your character? Throughout the show, she gets jealous of other women for simply knowing the Doctor. She immediately shows distaste towards Tara Jane, when all she knows is that the Doctor and her know each other. She hasn't even been told they've traveled together yet. She is constantly treating Mickey like a pile of crap, and it continues to basically grovel at her feet. She barely shows any apologetic feeling towards him at all. And number 1. The Doctor's inconsistency. I enjoy the 10th Doctor as much as the next guy. That doesn't change the fact that he was written very inconsistently. He starts off his run as a no second chances kind of man. He then continues to give the Master, Davros, and other villains multiple chances. He goes from a man who will kill if there is no other option, to a man who won't kill even if there is literally no other way. In Journey's End, the Doctor is really upset that the duplicate Doctor kills all the Daleks, only to, in the very next episode, murder a ton of Cybermen. The Doctor has some pretty confusing and messed up morals. And that's my list of the top 5 worst RTD era cliches. Catch you on the flip side, yeah!